Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to start a discussion about a topic you've probably not heard too much about, but we're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to be talking about, we're going to take the first step into something called the Xerxes 2 project. And the first step is we're going to be talking about the Hypertext Markup Language, otherwise known as HTML. Okay? But before we discuss this, I'm probably one of the rare few YouTube personalities on the YouTube platform that will never go, "Oh, please, 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 please like my video. And if you would be ever so kind as to subscribe to my channel, which will cause all my videos to be shared all over the platform." Let me tell you something. That ain't going to work. And I'll tell you why. Because YouTube cannot determine what they need to determine, which is whether my videos are keeping you guys on their platform by the use of the like buttons and the subscribe buttons. Okay? Now, why do these people tell you this? Well, number one, it extends the watch time on their videos, which I'll tell you a little later why that would have an effect. But anyway, the other thing is that the like button itself, you could flip through things all day long, just go like. It's not going to tell YouTube anything. Okay? Now, as for the subscribe button, that's a little different story. Have you noticed that when you hit the subscribe button now, this little menu pops up and it sets your bell notifications? There you go. That's why they're telling you that. Now, the bell notifications might tell YouTube something about how popular your channel is, and they might want to share your videos because of it. Okay? But what will cause YouTube to share your videos? Well, there are two things you can... Well, first of all, if people like you who are watching these videos right now were to copy the URL of the video and share it on a different social media platform like Facebook, what used to be Twitter, now is X, Gab, you got Truth Social, Instagram, Threads, whatever you want to share it on, that would get your video shared more. Okay? Number two, when you increase the watch time of the video, then YouTube gets an indication that people are actually watching the whole thing and not just watching bits or pieces and jump cutting through everything in your video. So that is a good indication. The other thing you could do, okay, is you can leave very nice comments in the comments section below. And what that tells them is you were engaged, you watched, you replied, you really liked the content that you were watching, and that helps your ratings as well. So really what you really want to do if you want to increase, if you want to motivate YouTube to share your videos more often, watch the videos all the way through. Well, not you, but I mean your audience needs to watch the videos all the way through, increasing the watch time of every single one of your videos, or have them leave nice comments in the comment section below so that YouTube can see for themselves that, gee, this is a video we want to share all over the platform. And there you go. And another thing I need to mention real quick before we resume our video is that I have published 5 Kindle books. They're $5 a piece. If you want a copy of any of these Kindle books, just leave me a comment in the comment section below and I'll send you a hyperlink to my latest book, which you now can see on the screen. And then from there you can find my other 4 Kindle books, and there will be more Kindle books coming soon. It's all up to you. Buy them and let me know what you think about them. Alright, on to the video. Okay, now let's go ahead and discuss all this. Alright. As I stated before, I'm going to start a discussion of the Xerxes 2 project, and the first term we're going to discuss is HTML. The Hypertext Markup Language is a computer language web pages use to display computer data to people who use the internet. But I will now be more specific. If you start a discussion about HTML, then you have to mention a name. The name that we're going to mention is Vannevar Bush. Guess I better write this down. There is Vannevar Bush. Mr. Bush published a paper entitled As We May Think. In his paper, he described a machine called the Memix. This machine would be able to store and retrieve data on microfilm. Now, this machine never really actually existed. However, the concept of it did, because he talked about it. Several people in the computer industry read this research paper and developed the first ideas on how to create the Hypertext Markup Language. One of the people who read this article, which was entitled As We May Think, was a guy by the name of Tim Berners-Lee. Let's go ahead and show you his name. Whoops. I don't want to spell my name, I want to spell his name. Tim. Why his last name is hyphenated, I have no clue. There you go, Tim Berners-Lee. Okay. Now, what did this guy do? He created the first browser editor and helped create the very first version of the Hypertext Markup Language. Mr. Berners-Lee developed a computer program called Inquire. It was the first computer program that could link separate files together. So one file could contain a list of names and another file could contain a list of addresses. A command in the program Inquire would look inside these name files and find a computer address that would lead the computer to an address file. And of course, the address file would lead the computer, well, it would have the computer address that would lead to the name of the file. The technical linking of computer file addresses would be called, eventually, hypertext. Okay? If you're confused, you can read an article about this, about Tim Berners-Lee, because I have left a bunch of links down here in the description box below. Check them out. You'll love them. Although Mr. Berners-Lee didn't create the first web server, he did create the first software that the first web server used. He also created the software for the first web browser. Mr. Berners-Lee also established the World Wide Web Consortium. This World Wide Web Consortium was known as W3. And now you know him today as the W3 School, and you're going to be reading about this a lot. This organization would create web standards that all web browsers would conform to. So what exactly is this Hypertext Markup Language? Well, I'll do my best to explain the topic, but I'm not an expert in this field, okay? Now, what happened was they developed tags. Okay? And what happens is, now, when you initially do this, you have to think of this whole thing as a tree. And this tree has lots of branches. So if you got an HTML document, which is all written text, plain text, okay, you can write this in any word processor. You can actually do this stuff on your phone, believe it or not. You have your head tag, your body tag, and then there'd be little branches out here too. Okay, and it just go on and on and on and on. I have 158 HTML lessons that explain this a lot better. So if you want to watch them, leave me a comment. I'll send you a link to the playlist so you can watch it to your heart's content. Okay? Now, each tag tag is considered something called an element. Okay? And in the web browser, there are certain little computer programs called scripts, and when you invoke these element tags, then scripts will run in the web browser. Okay, so if you have a paragraph tag, there's a little script that says, okay, the paragraph has to be displayed at a certain place, it has to have a certain indentation, the whole 9 yards. Getting the picture? Okay, and it would move your text from one paragraph to the next. So you could actually put attributes in these tags, in these HTML tags, and these attributes would give further details, and each attribute would have a little script as well that would run just because the attribute was in the tag. Nice, huh? So you could have, you could say input type equals radio, okay? And if you do that, then the script's going to say, okay, he's just told us that this will be an input device, and it's going to be in the shape of a radio button, and we have to place this radio button at a certain spot on his web page. That's what it would do. Okay. Now, and this is how the hypertext markup language actually works. If you want more information about this, like I said, leave me a link. Leave me a comment, and I'll post a link, and you can watch my 158 HTML lessons, and you can see all this stuff work for yourself. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.